Over the years, I've collected a ton of shitty games on my Steam. I don't even know why I keep them. I should probably just go ahead and delete them, but I don't. Some of them I've spent good money on, and some I've got for free or for very cheap. Several of the games that I own you can't even buy anymore on Steam. They were so bad that they've now been removed from the Steam store. The Stomping Land is just one example of a game that was so shitty that Steam actually went ahead and removed it from their store. And I was dumb enough to buy it for about $25 back in 2014. Today, I'd like to go back, just open it up a little bit and dig through it with you guys, and see how bad was it. Now, to give you a little bit of backstory, we've got to go back to 2013, when a developer known as Alex Jig Fedora was crowdfunding a game concept on Kickstarter and asking for about $20,000. Now, Jig was able to raise over $114,000 and gain a lot of online gaming media attention that should have went a long way to help him with this project. Mr. Fundora had marketed himself as a game development veteran, having worked on such titles as Skyrim and Dungeon Defenders, but I'll get into that later. Now, even before any money was raised for this title, there seems to have been some work put into it. The Kickstarter campaign shows a video with footage that looks like a more interesting version of the game than what we have now. The Kickstarter page describes this project as follows. The Stomping Land is a multiplayer survival game about dinosaurs. Create traps, salvage resources, and form tribes. Basically, it was going to be Ark. Except that Ark wasn't going to be on Steam yet for another year or so. Now, you can't play this game online anymore, obviously. All the people are gone, no one's playing, and there doesn't seem to be any options for hosting your own server. All the official servers have long since been shut down, but I remember when I first got this game and I went online to check it out, people were actually playing this online. Or at least they were trying to. I doubt anybody got too serious about this piece of garbage. When I try to play now, the only option available to me is to go online solo. And I like how it tells me that the best experience is to play it online, even though that's not an option anymore. When you spawn into the world, it's much like any other online survival game. You spawn on a beach with nothing but your wits on a strange land. There's a lot of dinosaurs walking around. In my opinion, there's way too many of them, since most of them are going to kill you in one hit, and you have no way of fighting back against them. The first thing you got to do in these kind of games is to go cut down a tree, harvest some rock, and the Stomping Land is no exception to that. Also, I should add that when you spawn in, you don't get any character customization. There's not even a male-female option. The only character skin, as far as I can tell, is this weird primal hunter guy that you see with the long hair. Imagine getting into a PvP fight where everybody looks the exact same. One good thing is that it shouldn't take too long to find a tree or some rocks to start harvesting. You click on it and this weird axe tool magically appears in your hand and you just start to chop up some wood or whatever. Now he swings it a few times, he gets a bit of wooden sap, or if you're mining rock, obviously you're going to get some rocks. But once he gets the resources, he stops and you have to click again. So you have to just keep clicking to harvest some resources, which is really annoying. Why can't you just hold down the left mouse button? Well, I think what happened here is that they didn't want somebody to just jam down the mouse button and walk away. Most games, this wouldn't be an issue, since chopping trees or mining rocks would result in the resource node disappearing once it's harvested, right? Except that in this game, you can't cut down the trees. You can just get all the wood in the world from one tree. Imagine how flawed that would be if you could just build your base while in one tree and you never had to leave your base ever again to go harvest wood. That's one of the many flaws that this game has. Opening up your inventory gives you an option to see crafting recipes, which is good since I doubt that there's an up-to-date wiki floating around out there giving you how-to advice online. It becomes obvious quickly that I'm going to have to kill a dinosaur for some of the essential ingredients in many of these recipes, since you need some weird stuff that I don't imagine you can harvest from the land, such as gobs of saliva and ugly feathers. Now, this presents a problem, since the large dinosaurs are going to kill you in one hit, and the small dinosaurs are just going to run away faster and you'll never catch up to them to melee them down. I managed to get one dinosaur stuck in rocks and I tried to melee him to death, but I didn't have any luck. I'm not even sure if this weird harvesting hatchet tool does any damage. So my only option was to lay some traps. Now when you first go to build a trap, it catches you off guard, since it doesn't go into your inventory, but instead it just places right there where you're standing. So instead of building a trap and going out to set it up, you've got to carry the resources to build a trap with you. I don't think you can even change what item you have selected. So as far as I can tell, your inventory is really just a place to store harvested resources. Now once you get the hang of setting up these arrow traps, they're not so bad. They're a bit weird and they're shittily made, but all things considered in this game, I'm really surprised that they're even functional. As you build the trap, you have to aim where you want the arrow to go. So you got just a few seconds of standing still where you have to aim the trap, and anything walking out in front of this seemingly endless trap trigger will be shot with a high velocity arrow, including yourself. So if you just happen to wander out in front of it by accident, and it's really hard to tell where they're placed since they're invisible, imagine this online. Zero chance of evading these fuckers. You can't even see them coming. And the arrow traps are so cheap to build. You just put them all over the place. This would be a griefer's paradise. Once I got a few small dinosaurs down, I noticed that they weren't dropping one of the essential ingredients, ugly feathers. Instead, they were dropping beautiful feathers. Why does this even matter? Why can't they just be feathers? Who cares if they're nice looking or just dirty old things? If you're using them in a bow, yes, in a bow. You need feathers to craft a bow, not just arrows. But who cares what the feathers look like? As long as they can be used, who cares? It's not like it matters, since after you get a kill or two under your belt, you're most likely to be killed, since the larger dinosaurs seem to be attracted to the smaller corpses of other dinosaurs that you've killed. They're just gonna come charging after you, and once you die, you're gonna be spawning at some random shitty beach location, unlikely anywhere near your body. And even if you wanted to go looking for your corpse, you couldn't really. There's not a map that you can look at, so you just have to get really good at navigating this shitty fucking map over time. Which wouldn't be easy, since so much of it is so bland and so boring. Another thing that was a little bit weird to me was that when you die, you get the option to stay alive. Basically, once you die, you're punished with a 10-second timer, where you need to wait to bleed out or whatever. But if you so choose, you can press stay alive. And I assume that this must have been like an online thing, so maybe a friend could revive you or something. But it's really weird because you can press it as many times as you want. There's no end to it. As long as you're sitting there pressing the button, I guess you could just wait for help to arrive. Anyways, as far as I'm concerned, I've covered most of the gameplay elements here. There's just really not a lot of content, which is one of the biggest problems with this game. And it's glitchy as hell. I mean, some of the trees you can just run right through, and other ones seem to have collider boxes almost twice the size of the trees. So sometimes you can run through the trees, and sometimes you get stuck on the air near the vegetation. Also, don't ever try to run away from the dinosaurs into the water. I thought that I could outswim them, but these things just charge in there without even acknowledging that they've left land. They run underwater and go straight for you as if they're still on land, and you're slowed down from swimming. I guess it's kind of funny. I don't know, I can't believe that I spent $25 on this. I mean, at the time that it came out, I remember that The Forest had also just come out, and I made myself choose between one of them. Some guy that I used to sit near at work told me that this was going to be a great title, and that he was really looking forward to it, so I took his word for it. I guess I should have gotten The Forest. That game was really good fun. There was a lot of hype surrounding this when it first came out, probably due to its success on Kickstarter, and like I said, it got a lot of online attention from places like Polygon and PC Gamer, who heralded this Alex Fundora guy as some kind of game development veteran. Like I said, having worked on Skyrim and Dungeon Defenders, but I looked into it, and in Skyrim's credits, he's listed under special thanks. So I'm not sure what he did. He wasn't a programmer, he wasn't a designer. For all I know, he fetched coffees for the developers. Or maybe he bought them lunch or something, who knows. As for Dungeon Defenders, I wasn't entirely able to find out, but he may have had an animating job on that one. Either way, I think that he was just in way over his head on such an ambitious title. And I doubt that he planned on getting so much attention. Maybe the stress of having all this pressure and having gotten so much money went to his head. I really don't know. But I'd like to leave this here. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section though. Does anybody else have this atrocious title in their Steam library? Do you have any worse games in your library? Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. That sort of support goes a long way in brightening up my day. And if you didn't like it, leave a dislike because, I mean, why not? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I think this has been at least therapeutic for me.